Imagine this, you're hiking through the vast plains of Wyoming, the sun setting behind rugged mountains. Suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, you spot something odd, a rabbit, but not just any rabbit. This one has antlers, like a miniature deer. You blink, and it's gone. The Wyoming sky blazes with ethereal colors, a spectacular display of nature's artistry. What you saw might not have been real, but it could very well be a jackalope, the legendary creature that has captured the imagination of Americans for nearly a century. The wind whispers through the prairie grass, carrying with it the ancient secrets of the land. That, my friends, is the jackalope, a creature of legend. It roams the plains, elusive and enigmatic. The story of the jackalope begins in the American West, a place known for its tall tales and frontier humor. It's one of those stories that makes you question where reality ends and fiction begins. Some say the creature's roots go back to Native American legends of spirit animals. These tales often spoke of enigmatic creatures that roamed the plains, merging the natural with the supernatural. But the jackalope, as we know it today, emerged in the 1930s. This was a period when America was grappling with the Great Depression, and people sought any form of escapism. It all started in Douglas, Wyoming, when two brothers, Douglas and Ralph Herrick, were out hunting. The Herrick brothers were known for their inventive spirit. They had a knack for seeing the world through a different lens, always adding a touch of magic to their environment. They were also famous for their love of pranks. Their friends and neighbors were always on their toes, as the Herrick brothers were constantly up to some kind of mischief. After their successful rabbit hunt, they returned home and decided to have some fun. This marked the start of a legendary prank that would become iconic. Being the pranksters they were, they saw a chance to create something truly unique and unforgettable. Using their taxidermy skills, the Herricks attached a pair of deer antlers to the rabbit's head. It was a meticulous process requiring both skill and imagination. The result was so bizarre and lifelike that it immediately caught people's attention. Tourists began flocking to Douglas to catch a glimpse of this rare creature. Over time, the jackalope became more than a joke. It turned into a symbol of the quirky and imaginative spirit of the American West. As the Herrick's creation gained notoriety, the legend of the jackalope began to evolve. The tale of this part jackrabbit, part antelope creature captured the imagination of everyone who heard it. People were enchanted by this bizarre and whimsical creature. It wasn't just the oddity of its appearance that intrigued them, but the stories of its antics and mischief. Soon, stories about the jackalope began to emerge all over Wyoming. From small towns to sprawling ranches, everyone had a tale to tell. Ranchers swore they'd seen the creature darting through their fields. They described it as quick and elusive, always just out of reach. Some even claimed the jackalope had a taste for whiskey. They'd find their flasks mysteriously emptied by morning. They said it would sneak into their camps and drain their flasks. The creature seemed to have a knack for finding the best hidden bottles. It would leave behind nothing but the scent of sagebrush and mischief. The aroma lingered in the air, a sign of the jackalope's visit. As the legend grew, so did the jackalope's reputation for trickery. It became known as a master of deception, always one step ahead. Folks said the creature could mimic human voices. It would call out in the night, leading people astray with its eerie, lifelike sounds. They said it would lure unsuspecting travelers off the beaten path. The jackalope's calls were so convincing that even the most experienced woodsman could be fooled. It would lead them into the wilderness with its calls. Once off the path, the travelers would find themselves lost in the dense forest. It was a prankster of the highest order. The jackalope's legend was a blend of humor and mystery, showcasing the power of storytelling in the wilds of Wyoming. Some even claimed the jackalope was fiercely territorial, capable of goring anyone who dared to approach it. To avoid danger, they said you could calm the creature by offering it a glass of whiskey. Over time, this detail became part of the law, and some taxidermy jackalopes were even mounted with small whiskey bottles. What if I told you that the legendary jackalope might have roots in a real-life virus? And I could be right. There could be a hint of scientific reality behind this tall tale. The Shope papilloma virus can cause rabbits to develop bony growths on their heads and bodies. These growths can sometimes look like small horns or antlers. It's possible that early sightings of rabbits afflicted with this condition contributed to the jackalope legend. This blending of fact and fiction is part of what makes the jackalope so fascinating. It's not entirely impossible to imagine how someone could see a rabbit with horn-like growths and spin it into a tale that eventually became legend. The jackalope may have originated in Wyoming, but its legend traveled far and wide. The tale spread across the nation. It became a beloved feature in roadside attractions, novelty shops, and folklore. But no place has embraced the jackalope quite like Douglas, Wyoming. The town of Douglas, Wyoming, proudly calls itself the home of the jackalope. Tourists visit the town each year to grab their very own jackalope souvenir. They can choose from postcards, keychains, and even mounted specimens. Douglas even issues jackalope hunting licenses, valid only on June 31st, a date that doesn't exist. The licenses are a cheeky nod to the creature's mythical status and the humor that surrounds it. The licenses are just a fun way to keep the legend alive. Beyond Douglas, the jackalope has appeared in pop culture, from postcards and t-shirts to television shows and movies. It's a mascot for roadside attractions and a playful side of folklore. The jackalope even has its own beer, with breweries embracing the quirky charm of the horned rabbit. So why does the jackalope remain so popular? Perhaps it's because it embodies a unique blend of the believable and the absurd. It's just plausible enough to make us wonder, what if? It also taps into a deeper human instinct, the need for storytelling. The jackalope isn't just a creature, it's a shared cultural joke, a bit of magic in a world that often feels too predictable. But perhaps the real magic lies in its ability to make us smile. Whether it's the idea of a rabbit with a taste for whiskey or the image of tourists hunting for a creature that doesn't exist, the jackalope reminds us that folklore doesn't always have to be serious. Sometimes it's enough just to be whimsical. And so the jackalope lives on, not in the wild, but in the imaginations of those who love a good story. Whether you see it as a symbol of frontier humor, a reflection of real-world biology, or just a fun piece of Americana, the jackalope has earned its place in folklore. So next time you're wandering the plains of Wyoming, keep an eye out. You never know what might be watching you from the tall grass. Which version of the jackalope legend do you like the most? The trickster, the whiskey lover, or the fierce protector? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more mythical mysteries. Until next time, stay curious.